Okay, Ilkay Gundogan has tested positive for coronavirus. Questions have to be raised about how long before we have to shut down football. Basically, it's one player, one positive test, but obviously Man City are playing Wolves tonight, and it'll be interesting to see if we get any positive tests in the aftermath of that game. At the moment, the game is going ahead. Can football financially afford to suspend the season? That's one question. And we know that the League Cup and the FA Cup, there's been structural changes, especially to the FA Cup with no replays, and the League Cup with no home and away legs in the semi-finals, to those competitions to mitigate if we have to rearrange games in the Football League and the Premier League in case of match postponements due to obviously positive coronavirus tests. And that's fine. But it'll be interesting to see if, after the Wolves-Man City game tonight, if any more players test positive in the following days. If that is the case, that then raises headaches for the Premier League, the FA, and the EFL as well, because they've also signed up to these return-to-play protocols, and we've already had League Cup games that involve, obviously, Football League and Premier League sides. So then that raises the questions about the integrity of the biosecurity protocols that have been put in place by the FA, the Premier League, and the EFL in agreement with the UK government to allow games to take place. But at the moment, it's one player, one positive test. But it's when we have a high concentration of positive tests that is a hypothetical problem that could happen. At the moment, as I say, the Wolves-Man City game is due to take place this evening. It hasn't been postponed, so it'll be interesting to see the aftermath of that. Now, if there's no more positive tests, then we have nothing to worry about. It's an isolated positive test, but it does raise questions about the biosecurity protocols in place. But I'm not overly surprised a player has tested positive. I'm not. We had positive tests earlier on in the summer during the initial shutdown of play. Mikel Arteta, for example, tested positive, the Arsenal manager. There were several players across Europe who tested positive. And when German football resumed, FC Cologne, a handful of their players tested positive, and they withdrew from a couple of matches to isolate their squad for 14 days, which was at the time a concern that the German football had to shut down. It didn't. It worked through that. It worked around it. No other players tested positive at other clubs, and they worked around that problem. The possible problem we have here is if players other than Man City players start testing positive, and that then raises concerns about having to isolate squads. And if it's, let's just say, Man City and Wolves that test positive, okay, we could work around that and we could postpone fixtures and work around it. But if it starts becoming more than a couple of clubs that have positive tests in their playing squads, that then raises concerns about having to shut down the league for a period of time. But we'll see what happens. At the moment, it's just Gundogan, the Man City midfielder, one player, one test. That's tested positive. But when we start seeing more players test positive, then questions will be asked about should, obviously, league play continue? Will English football have to shut down again like it did in March? And for how long? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.